Good afternoon. We are all very saddened to have to be here this afternoon having this press conference talking about one of the most horrific days in our department's history, yesterday, where, for no known reason at all, a violent gunman attacked our officers, firing multiple rounds, striking 3 of them, 2 of them critical and stable condition, and 1 of them deceased. This is it's an unconscionable act. It's hard to fathom. It's unbelievable that something like this would happen in our community. Many of us think a lot of stuff can't happen, and this happened. Sir Jake Welleen, 23 years old, sworn into our department just less than 3 months ago, April 24th, 2023, right here in this very commission chamber. An individual who was also a military veteran, serving in the Minnesota National Guard, went on numerous deployments, including Afghanistan, served his country, came back here, and wanted nothing more but to serve in a position with purpose and meaning. These exact words. And he did that. And he was a member of our family. And he's been taken from us far too soon. And it's a tragedy. Our condolences, our heartfelt sympathies go out to Jake Welleen's family, his friends. Please keep all of them in your thoughts and prayers in the days going forward as we prepare to properly honor him in the future. Officer Andrew Dotis and Officer Tyler Howes were also significantly injured in this incident, receiving gunshot wounds, and as I said earlier, are currently in critical, stable condition, recovering. We're praying for their recovery, not just in general, but their full recovery. We met with them earlier today as well. And Officer Zach Robinson, who was also at this particular scene, it was the officer who was able to shoot and ultimately kill this suspect, ending the threat and preventing future harm to others, is also in our thoughts and prayers as well. The thing we always want to know in a situation like this is why. Why would somebody do this? What happened? Our officers were out there performing their duties, investigating what we would say was a routine traffic accident. They were doing what they were supposed to be doing. As they did that, for whatever reason, this individual began firing at them, striking 3 of them. They also fired shots at the firefighters who were also on scene attending to the crash victims. Fortunately, none of them were struck. One of their trucks was struck by gunfire. No known reason for this. I think down the road we will know the whys. I'm confident that our partners in BCI and FBI, as they work through this particular investigation, will put the pieces of the puzzle together as to why this individual chose to do this.
Obviously, this is a horrendous time, I think, for the police, for everybody, and obviously it has created some fear, as a matter of fact. You've probably heard some of that. I've talked to people about it. But your thoughts on what happened, this hit with a hammer yesterday?
It sure did. It's tragic for the entire region, actually, and Fargo is growing, but we still have one of the best police departments in the country, in my opinion, and now we're almost fully staffed. But the most important thing is right now all of our thoughts and prayers and support go to the stricken officers, their family and friends, the team of Fargo, including the fire department, first responders, communication team, and all members of the police department.
It's easy to say, but lots of times when these sort of things happen, and we've had shootings and that sort of thing. I've known some police officers here that have died different times, and it stays with you. But at the same time, it was a different situation in this case with the shootings, and one wonders Do you think there might be some changes within the city of Fargo with regards to what is happening with the guns and some of the things that have been happening?
You know, as the mayor just stated, the situation was under control. Unfortunately, after the three were stricken, they got the shooter right on scene, and the community was no longer at risk. So that is from the enormous and incredible training that our police department continues to have. And the training that goes on day to day with our new recruits as well. So I just have complete confidence in our police force. I think we have one of the best in the country, and this community can still feel very safe.
And there isn't really a way to prevent this. I think no matter whether it's in Fargo, Minneapolis, or New York, or Chicago, or Atlanta, or wherever, but again, there really isn't a way perhaps at this point to stop this sort of thing. I mean, I've heard a couple of people saying they need to do something here in Fargo. Well, that's not something, I don't know, that can ever be done, let alone if people have guns, they get them one way or another.
You know, community, that's why community is so important. If you see something, say something, get to know our local police department and our officers, participate in the community, and stay engaged.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
People think there needs to be something done about this, and that is the tragic thing with the firearms and that sort of thing. Whether that's possible, I don't know that would ever occur. There's always arguments, both pro and con, about it. Your thoughts? I know you've had many thoughts about it.
You know, I've had lots over the years to say about that topic, and I'm anticipating as time unfolds, we'll have a lot of conversations about gun safety and gun violence and what we can do in our local community and at the state level, and it's needed. For the moment, though, we need to grieve and support our families and our law enforcement that are affected and our people, and we owe them service as well, and we owe them our best efforts to make sure in the future they're always as safe as they can be when they're going out in their job. And that means we address these issues in a timely fashion, in a responsible fashion, and we pull up our boots, we pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we decide that we have work to do, and we do it.
It's a very complicated situation, whether or not that'll ever happen, but I know you and others have said it. Do you think that there will be some efforts within the city of Fargo, perhaps in the aftermath of this horrible situation?
I would anticipate the people will
changes of some
I would anticipate the people's expectation of us to lead will be heightened, and we owe them that. And it's a difficult conversation, but it's a necessary conversation, and we owe future generations this effort, this due diligence now, and we owe our children and our families, everybody, we owe them everything we can do so that when they're in their homes and their neighborhoods, driving down the streets, and our folks going to work, that they're as safe as they can be. And yes, we have work to do, and it's going to take all of us, and we have to open our minds up and have our hearts open as well, and be prepared to take one step after another, aiming in the direction of a safer, healthier, better community.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Don.